Well, what up, everybody? This is RBT coming at you with my grades of the Titans 2012 draft. I'm gonna go through each pick and just say a little bit about every pick that they made, and I'm gonna grade each one and just give an overall grade for the draft this year. First of all, I'm gonna list the first 7 picks in case you didn't see the draft. Number 1, they got Kendall Wright, wide receiver out of Baylor. Second round, they got Zac Brown, outside linebacker from North Carolina. Third round, got Mike Martin, defensive tackle from Michigan. Fourth round, got Cody Sinzenbog, corner from Clemson. Fifth round, Taylor Thompson, a tight end / defensive end from SMU. In the sixth round, they got Markel Martin, safety from Oklahoma State. They traded up to get him, but then they traded a draft pick for next year to go back in the 7th round. Early in the 7th round, and they selected Scott Solomon, defensive end from Rice. Alright, first pick, Kendall Wright. I know some of you might have saw my video on here where I had a reaction to the live pick, and the reason I acted like that was because it kind of was a shocker, because I really expected a corner or a lineman or a defensive end or linebacker, and wide receiver just completely surprised me, and I probably just got shocked because it was a live reaction, but after thinking about it a little bit more, it's not as bad as I thought it was, because it provides Jake Locker with a few more weapons that he didn't have before, because Nate Washington is really kind of aging and he's not productive as he's been in the past. But we do have some receivers that contributed last year that surprised a bunch of people, and every receiver on the team last year had the best year of their career. And Kendall Wright just adds to that. He's a shorter guy. He's like 5'10", 5'11", but the best comparison in the NFL right now is to Steve Smith. And if you're being compared to Steve Smith, that's a really, really good thing. So he's a really talented player. Gotta give him that. He's really explosive. He's probably the best receiver after the catch in this draft. He has a great ability to stretch the field and go make plays. So I give this pick a C+, only because we really needed a defensive end or a lineman or linebacker. Or what we needed the most is a corner because of the loss of Cortland Finnegan, so we need a starting corner for next year. Second round, this pick kind of was disappointing too. Zac Brown, linebacker from North Carolina. Well, disappointing when I first learned about it. The reason so is because Peter Collins was available, and he had a first round grade, and I don't know why we passed on him, because center was one of our main needs in this draft, and to have a guy drop to us at 20th pick in the 2nd round with a first round grade, it seems like we'd have picked him, but we went with Zac Brown. He's kind of undersized linebacker from UNC. He had the fastest time of a linebacker in the 40-yard dash at the combine. He's listed at 6'1", 244. The more I've thought about it is the Titans defense the past few years has had trouble covering tight ends. We've been killed by tight ends, and he gives us the opportunity to have a linebacker drop into coverage and cover the tight ends that we've had problems with over the past few years. And that's probably the reason we drafted him. And he could also be a pass rush specialist. So I give this pick a B-, only because Vavante Davis, I think his name was, from Nebraska was available. He would probably have been a better pick in my eyes, but I mean, Zac Brown's still an okay pick. I give it a B-. Third round, Mike Martin, defensive tackle from Michigan. This was really the first pick I was really happy with. I give this an A-. He's listed as 6'1", 306. He's not the biggest defensive tackle out there. He's not the strongest, but he plays the strongest. If you watch him and at the combine, his measurables, he wasn't stronger than any other tackles. But when he plays, he looks like he's a lot stronger than he really is, and he's manhandled people in the Big Ten. He was a second team All Big Ten last year. He's actually really, really good, so I was really happy with his pick. So we really needed a defensive tackle early to help out Derek Marks and Carl Klung in the middle. I give that pick an A-. Fourth round, this was my least favorite pick of the draft, Cody Sinzenbog from Clemson. This guy had a 7th round grade, so we could have picked him really, really later in the draft if we wanted to. That's why I have him so low. or have this pick as a D. He's 5'11", 189, and there's so many other corners out there that we could have picked. We had Daquan Minzy from Alabama. Who else? All I know is there's a bunch of other corners. Chase Minifield from Virginia, and who is the other? There was one other corner, but I personally think they'd have been a lot better than Cody Sensenbach, or we could have got another position in this round and got this guy later. But this was my worst graded pick of the draft. I have him at a D, but we'll just see. Hopefully this guy proves me wrong, comes in and plays better than what I think he's gonna do, or whatever. But 5th round, they have Taylor Thompson, a defensive end / tight end from SMU. The reason I say that is because he played defensive end his whole entire career at SMU. He was a tight end coming out of high school and surprised everybody at his pro day trying out at tight end. So that's what he's listed as. He was 282, and he showed up. After the season he was 282 and showed up to his pro day at 259. And he's 6'6". He has freak measurables, and he ran a 4.5 40. When you run a 4.5 40 at 6'6", you're gonna be pretty good. And those measurables, all those the time and whatnot, that sounds like a pretty good tight end. They said he caught the ball real well at his pro day, and if he has to, that'd be a great fit at a pass specialist coming off the end on the defensive line. But Taylor Thompson, I gave this pick of AA. It's funny. But yeah, this is the first solid A I have in this draft. After the 4th round, I think our draft personally picked up really well. 6th round, we got Markel Martin, a safety from Oklahoma State. He's 6'1", 207. We really needed at least 2 secondary players in this draft, and we got him. I think he was a pretty good grab in the 6th round. He was second team All-American all across the country. I give this pick an A. He's just really talented. He has great pass coverage skills. He can lay the wood on you if he has to, and I think he's just going to be a pretty good player for us in the years to come. And our 7th round pick, I had to do a little bit of research on him, but we moved up a few spots to get Markel Martin, and we traded our 7th pick away, but we wanted the 7th pick, so we traded the Vikings, I think, our 6th round pick for next year to get a 7th rounder this year, and we got Scott Solomon, a defensive end from Rice, and I gave this pick a B+. Oh, and I gave the Markel Martin pick a A if I didn't say. But Scott Solomon, he's 6'3", 262, he's pretty big. He had 8.5 sacks last year, his senior year for Rice. He had over 26 sacks there in his career. From what I looked up, they said he has a high motor. He plays with great toughness. He can rush the passer, and that's something we really needed. We only had 26 sacks last year, one of the worst, the least sacks in all of football last year. But he does have short arms, which could cause trouble for him getting off blockers. And there's questions about that athleticism. But when you get 8.5 sacks a year, that proves all his questions wrong. But overall, I give this draft a B-, mainly because of the first few picks and the Cody Sensenbach pick, which didn't make really any sense to me. But the reason I give this a B- is really because if we would have got a corner or defensive end or lineman in the 1st round, we could have picked a wide receiver that was really capable of starting for us next year in the 2nd round. And hold on! I'm doing something! Gosh! Crap, what was I talking about? I was talking about receiver. We could have traded up a little bit in the 2nd round to get a receiver if we had to, that was really capable of us starting. There's a few guys we could have picked up, but because corner or defensive end was a way bigger need, and the Sensenbach pick, like I said, didn't make any sense to me. But that is it, guys. This was my grades of the Tennessee Titans 2012 draft. B-, pretty average, but it could have been worse. this is it, guys. As always, go Sox, roll Tide, and go Titans. See you later.